Hi friends, this is Yetmir from Albania. Today I have with me Harald from Austria. We are here to talk about how to reduce noise with DxO PhotoLab. So I'm very excited that Harald accepted my invitation. I personally have been using Topaz denoise. I'm looking forward, based on the research, comments, and feedback that was shared from our members, that DxO PhotoLab is doing such an incredible job. So here we are. Harald is here today with us to share pretty much everything he knows. He uses DxO heavily. So take it away, Harald. Welcome.
Yeah, hello. Hi from Austria. So yeah, I actually am in the position that I can now compare those different programs because as you know, Jadmir, I have the Z9 and I'm still not able to use this one with this program because they still don't have the optical modules in there. But that's a different story. Yeah. That's a different story, and I don't want to get into this in the moment. Because yeah, so I've been writing back and forwards with in forums and stuff about this because it's really annoying. But these pictures were mostly taken with the D500 and the Z6. And yeah, can be totally used. So this actually is a picture from Litauen. But before I go into this, I may explain a little bit about DxO. So DxO is a French company, and they actually started out by providing data for lens correction and sharpening. And building up know-how on this, they then develop more and more products. And they are working also like Topaz with artificial intelligence algorithms. And they created this algorithm and they use this algorithm and yeah, customize it to all the different camera models and lenses. And that's why it also takes so long for them to actually build up these optical models that you can download. When you go up here, I don't see that now. Can you see my
your bar? Yeah,
the bar. Okay, there's this optical. I don't see it now. So, but here you can download the optical models that you need.
Yeah, okay.
And do that. And so it's really specified to all. It's not just specified to the camera bodies, but also to the lenses and with the converter, without the converter, and all of those kind of things. So the heart of DxO is deep prime. You can see that over here on this side. That's deep prime. You actually have the possibility to just go for different kinds of yeah, like let's say like denoise sharpening tools, but you know, after my experience, you only go with deep prime all the time. And deep prime is also the one thing that you use in DxRAW, which is for the RAW files, for the denoising of the RAW files, and you can plug that into Lightroom and also Photoshop. And the difference between Topaz and DxO is that you work here only with the RAW file. So you only have one file, right? And that's really nice because it takes really up a lot of space on your hard drive if you do a lot of pictures and denoise them, because you have to make these diff files to save most of the information if you don't want to go with the JPEG in Topaz. And that creates files like with this C9 now with 280 megabytes, one file. And that, of course, takes forever to render on the machine. So that's really like the thing I really love, because you stay with the RAW file and then you just export the image, the JPEG. And it stays just in your folder as a RAW file, and you can go back to it and change it again. And also reset all the settings and stuff like that. So that's a really nice thing. So another nice thing is it actually does everything automatically, more or less. So with deep prime, you don't really have to look like how much sharpening you want and how much denoise you want. It just makes the picture with its own intelligent program as good as it can be. That means that you also, of course, lose a little bit of control. So with the other programs, you have a little bit more of control. But here, I never thought that I need this kind of control. And the thing about like Sharpen IA is that you always have to change things around, and then you have to compare the different kinds of settings that you have. And this takes a lot of time. So the workflow with DOX is much easier. And so here, when I'm working with DxO, this is DxO PhotoLab, and it's now PhotoLab 5. So they have advanced this. And yeah, the good thing about this is that it's just a standalone program. So I never actually used Lightroom before. I use it now in the moment for the Z9. And I was very, very disappointed at the beginning. But I mean, it's getting better now. so you can also learn that. And I could not say that, that at the end of the day, maybe if you make a perfect picture with denoise and sharpen IE and gigapixel and other things that you can use in Lightroom with dots together, that the image that you will create will be less good. In some cases, it may even be better. But this workflow in this program is just so much more easy. So much easier, not more easy, more easier, right? You just import it. So it is not like that you have the same possibilities like in Lightroom with your library, but you have a library and you just have to work normally. You can also work with Lightroom. So you can use all the folders that you have here and just click on them. And then you are in the photothek. So this is actually now it's in German. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can switch everything to English. That would make it much easier.
No, it's fine. It will be fine. It's fine.
Yeah, but let me just see. I don't find anything here. No, don't think that I can do that. Maybe I can. Maybe some people will know.
We'll not maybe focus on that. We'll just get into how do we get rid of that noise, because that's that's why we
yeah. So, but it's really more than just getting rid of the noise, right? That's what I'm trying to say, because I would not, I would recommend really to buy this DOX PhotoLab 5 and not just the row converter, because it's pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same price, I guess, when it's on sale. And here you really have the standalone program, and you have one go with the workflow, right? Of course, I know that people who are used to Lightroom may have, difficulties to get used to this one here. But as I will show you, it's just about doing everything that you can do in one program.
Very good.
Okay, so when you look here, this is a picture. It actually has 4000 ISO, and in Lightroom, I must say 4000 ISO. That's too much for me in Lightroom. I always use then sharpen, denoise, our sharpen IE. And have to create a stiff file. So I don't really have to do that here. So if you just would want to, denoise it, you could just go here on the deep prime, and it will just start to denoise your file. The thing is, one of the things that you don't really see it here in this in the big picture. You see it here in the small one. So this is now the denoised picture. It's way less noisier than the other one before. And what you can do here is that you can go to wherever you want to go. And then it takes a little while because it has to get there. Kind of, it has to.
One thing that it is impressing me already is that how fast it got rid of the noise. With Topaz DB,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
takes a
but
while, realistically.
yeah, okay, but you have to, you know, so one thing is, of course, then when you export the file, it takes a little longer actually. So
see.
because
Okay.
it does this for the picture as a whole, but it then has to create a JPEG, and the JPEG may take longer than it does in Lightroom to do so.
I understand.
And you also, and it's also not so easy to drive over the whole picture, because it does really do all of this kind of mathematics in the background. So, but here you can see now the eye, right?
Yep.
Let me try to get back. So let me go back to the original one. So now it goes back to the original one. So, and then I'm going to do that again. I don't know if it really went back to the original file. Okay, let me see. So no, I'm still there. I see. I would have done it. Let's do it with yeah. Let me try to get. See, what I'm trying to do now here is I'm trying to get rid of Deep Prime again, what I never normally do. So I don't know how this really works, but normally it should work. Maybe I also can go to the file, and
yeah, once you go Deep Prime, you can go back, it seems.
yeah, but I think it's back now. Yes, now I reset.
Okay, good, very good. Yes.
So let me go to the eye and then go to Deep Prime again. So you have to look at the smaller window there, what it does with the Deep Prime, and it takes, of course, also here for a while. And now you see what's happened. So maybe it does not look so impressive now, but it's pretty good, and it does not. So what it also does not create, like in denoise, it does not create artifacts as much. So it really just. So what I realized with Sharpen IE is that sometimes it wants to sharpen then the areas that don't need sharpening, right? And this algorithm does not do so. So it stays fuzzy in the background, and it does not do it. Just sharpens where it needs to sharpen. So yeah, I mean, so this is the problem. What you have, we only see this in the small window, as I said. You don't see it in the whole picture. You only see it in the whole picture once you make your JPEG out of it. Right. Or you export it in some other way. What you can also do here is then you have your lens correction, right? And with this lens correction, you can go and making it sharper even.
Oh, I see. Cool. Oh,
so you can also bring out more details, and you can even go with the bouquet, which does not really show now on the small picture. And here the bouquet is pretty good anyway.
Yes,
but it does that. So now you see, now it has. So it takes always, half a minute or something like this. But when you look at the picture now, it's even sharper than it was before.
Can you crop in here? Can you crop and coloring and a lot other stuff?
Yeah, sure. So this is just like this was just because you were saying at the beginning you want to see how the denoise works. So
indeed. But
this
now
is
you're spoiling me now.
Yeah. So this is how the denoise works, right? And I mean, I would not start with this. Actually, yes, I do start with this. So actually, I go here with the lens correction. I normally go pretty much all the way up. So I normally stay between 2 and 280 or something like this. Yeah. Because I realized that it does not sharpen too much. So it does not over sharpen normally. Even the picture is sharp. So this picture is pretty sharp from the beginning. It is a little bit, there was a little bit of fog, but the picture is still pretty sharp. And you don't need too much detail normally. So I stay there with 50 is normally the set, how it is. And then I go normally to like 58 or something like this. And for the bouquet, it really depends. It does not really make the bouquet very smooth. It just does a little bit. So this lens correction is not like overdoing it, right? If you would the same thing like with sharpening in Lightroom or something like this, you would have to really, you know, take care of the noise again and this and that you don't over sharpen. That's not really the problem here. So most of the things are done in the deep prime. And when you have done the deep prime, it just does not then redo the deep prime. It just adjusts the deep prime, but it adjusts in a way that it does not, you know, do something new to it or creates artifacts or something like this. It just sharpens it a little bit more. That's all what it does.
Very nice.
Yeah, you can also go down here, Unschärfenmaskierung, which means like that it also is again a sharpening thing that is not only towards the lens correction, but more like a general kind of thing. If you would go up here a whole lot, then the picture would get over sharpened in certain ways. You always have to wait. It takes some while. So I'm very careful. I only go to 103, 106 or something like that with those kind of things because it gets too sharp too fast. And so, you know, you lose what you actually gain with this program is that you still have this natural look in the pictures.
That's right. Well,
which is very important.
This is great. Thank you for sharing this wonderful, useful information. I tell you, before purchasing it, I wanted to do this with you first.
Yeah, but you can, as I said, you can have everybody is able to get it for 1 month free.
That's
without
right.
watermark.
That's a very good idea too. That's a good.
And you know, you just can try it out and compare it to what you have. And I mean, it will take you a little bit to get used to it. So what you can also have here is presets. Actually, I don't get in the. No, it's gone. You have here in the picture, you have presets that you can use. And with those presets, what I do with the presets is that I use I do what I do to all of the pictures actually in DxO PhotoLab 5. And this means that I do the deep prime and I do this kind of sharpening like it is now. So this would be like a default setting for me in the moment, maybe not a bouquet because it's normally not really necessary. It depends really, but normally this is at 50. And what I would also do with the pictures before I do the preset, I would not cut them because the preset is uncut for me, but you can also have cutted prefaces where you, and this here is the cutting tool that you have. So you can do this kind of correction.
Oh, cool.
Of the thing, and here you have the cutting, and then you can do this like the normal kind of thing, like also what you have preset, and here you can go to like, you know,
sure,
1 or something like this. You can let's zoom a little bit in so that you see a little bit more. So you can just, you know, cut the picture. With this, then you see also a little bit more what's going on in the picture actually, because you crop it more, but still you should be fooled by the picture, right? Because it will look different once it really gets processed. So you really have always to orientate yourself on this window here.
Right,
that we still have.
If
you really want to see what the picture looks, but for colors and other things, it also shows it in the big picture. But the deep prime really is the thing here. that is useful. It changes the picture, yes, but in my view, I always see a very big difference between the picture that I see here and the big picture and the once I process the files. Okay, so then you have also here your instruments where you can, go up and down with the temperature, with the lightning and stuff. You have, of course, taking out the highs, the white, the high whites.
Cool, everything, yeah.
Like
all the stuff you have on Lightroom. On camera, also, yep.
Yeah, and actually, so here I also have some kind of presets, and what I realized is when I'm working in Lightroom, you have to be much more careful here. I think that you can do a little bit more from some stuff, not so much for the shades and the depths, because then it's getting dark pretty soon. What is also useful in this is the contrast. So you can make it more, so I always go with a little bit of more contrast, and it takes up the contrast of the automatically of the micro contrast, but you can also change this individually. So as you can see now, with the I would not, this would not really look very thin, but you can see now already that it sharpens a lot. Once you get in processing the picture, it changes the picture. It does not, maybe this picture, you don't really have to change it too much because the lighter kind of thing is somewhat better. But when I go back now to this window, and I put it up here, it also takes a while. You can see that in the big picture, it's much more. You have much more noise than you have in the small one. Yeah, and actually, what you're gonna get out is the small one, right?
That's right.
So, okay. If I mean, you can also change here again the luminescence, which means like that you get rid of the noise a little bit more. But I normally just keep this as it is because the picture is normally really pretty good. So if you then process it, you don't really have a problem with noise. So I normally don't have really a problem with noise with picture with 4000. I always have pictures with a little bit more that you can see then. If you want to go in there. So, I mean, this is not perfectly made now, right? This picture is still pretty ugly, and you would have to change it back in a couple of things. What you can also do is you can increase the colors. Yeah. And you can increase the colors, the different colors channels, similar to Lightroom that you have. But here you can also just say, well, with the yellow stuff, I only really want this small yellow things, or I want more of the yellow stuff, right? So that also comes in pretty handy. I did not really find that in Lightroom. Maybe it is there, but when you once get used to this, and then you can also do like, do you want to get it more like in this direction, or do you want to get it more in this direction, right? So all of those kind of things you can do. That's pretty neat. And yeah, so I would do these color things, and I would do those things, and then what you also have is masks, like in Lightroom, but you don't really have. Okay, I have to get another mouse. So let me see. So selection of masks. So here you have the selection of masks. And what you can do here is you can work with lines. And you can also work with spots, okay, yeah, like this here. And then you have all these possibilities to make the spots like lighter. You get the whole menu here, what you have with shades and lights and all of those kind. With the color settings, you can choose for this area. And you can also sharpen here certain kinds of areas, or you can make also a bouquet. in certain kinds of areas. That's pretty strong, actually. So if I make this a bouquet, yeah, you see, it's really,
yeah.
that's pretty
Lots of
strong.
options, lots of options. I think that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I really like that. So what you don't do here is that you click on the thing and it does like Lightroom now, where it detects the subject.
Mm-hmm.
It does not do that. At least I did not find that here. But you can have all these kind of lines and stuff like this. And I actually liked it a little bit more because in Lightroom, what I see sometimes is that it, of course, does take all other kinds of things also into the subject, and it also does like areas with the feathers and stuff like this, like when you have wings, also the areas between the wings. And if you then make that like really more light or something like this, it sometimes shows, you know, this kind of light between the wings, which is not there in the original picture. I mean, probably there are also way around this in Lightroom. I'm just not that familiar in Lightroom, but it's similar to the thing that you have in Lightroom, but it just does not detect the animal or the subject.
Okay, Harold, I thank you so much for the time and the knowledge you share with us. I'm sure many of our folks will find this very useful, including myself. We look forward to future engagements. Thanks so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. If anybody has questions, they can write me. I can show them. I mean, what you can also do here, of course, you can also correct certain things in the picture, right? I did not show that in the moment. So this kind of correction that you also have in Lightroom, where you can take certain parts out and stuff like this, that's also something that you can do.
All right. Okay, everyone. Harold, thanks much. Take care now.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bye.